Hi everyone, welcome to Evie's Toy House, and today we are making a brand new Miraculous Ladybug custom doll. And as you can see here, we actually have Cat Noir. So this is going to be our first custom using Cat Noir as the base. If you've been to my channel before, you'll know that most of the customs I've been making uses the Ladybug doll. And so I'm really excited about having Cat Noir to make a custom with. And the first one we're going to be making is for Cat Blanc. He is the akumatized version of Cat Noir. And I'm really excited about this doll because for the first time we actually have him with a molded outfit in the 11.5 size fashion doll. So let's go ahead and get started. If you have not checked out the review for this doll, go ahead and check that out. He is actually a really cool doll and I think everyone should get him. I got this doll from Walmart.com. So here he is, looking really amazing. So Cat Blanc is completely white, and usually I would use my paint pen to paint him, but I think since the whole body is going to be white, it's going to be a little bit easier if I just use some spray paint. So this is the spray paint that I'm going to be using, and so the first thing we need to do is actually protect his head. Here I have some saran wrap or plastic wrap, and we are going to cover his head with it. And we're also going to put some tape here just to hold it in place. Alright, and we are ready. I'm going to take him outside to spray paint because spray paint can be pretty toxic and I don't want to do this indoors. The front is dried, let's go ahead and spray the back. Here we're going to spray the spots that we missed, and we're going to give him a second coat. Alright, here he is. So we gave him 2 coats and we pretty much got everything. Let's go ahead and remove the tape here. It is much faster to spray paint him, but I did have to wait a day for it to fully dry. Okay, here he is. Oh my goodness, he is looking good. So next we're going to take our paint pen and we're going to paint the rest of him using a paintbrush. For this step, I'm going to be using paint pen. This is a paint marker that is oil based. These are best for these types of dolls. And I don't know if I've shown you this before, but what I like to do is you take your paint pen, and this is actually palette paper, so this is kind of glossy and the paint doesn't soak in. And so what I do is I press down with a paint pen, and after some time you're going to get a puddle of paint. So this marker is a little bit dirty. Okay, let's go over here and press down. Okay, so you can start to see the paint come out and it puddles. And this paint will dry pretty fast, so you do have to work pretty fast. Okay, so here is a large puddle of paint. And this is where I can take my paintbrush and paint with it. To clean my brush, I use 100% acetone. So you don't want to use paintbrushes that are very high quality or very expensive because the acetone will damage your paintbrush. So you want something relatively cheap that you can easily replace. But this paintbrush has been pretty good, and so I've been using it for the Ladybug customs. So that's why I still have some of this pink in there. Actually, I think it'll be a little bit faster if I spray paint his hair. So let's go ahead and cover his face up with some tape. And do this in pieces. Okay, so here's his face all covered up. And let's take him back outside and spray paint the hair. Just because there's a lot of nooks and crannies, and I think the spray paint will do a more uniform job. Here it is. Okay, he is looking amazing. Look at that hair. So now all we have to do is paint the eyes and the mask. Alright everyone, so here is Cat Blanc. He is looking so good. The paint is very smooth and very even, which is amazing. And here is the mask. We painted it white and we also gave him blue eyes. And everything about him is pretty much just white. So at this point we can stop. However, I was thinking of adding some silver highlights. I have some metallic paint in tin, and we're just going to add a little bit just here on the zippers and such so that we can see it a little bit better. And if we don't like it, we can always paint over it again with white. So it's very subtle, you can barely see it. Alright everyone, so here we have our original Cat Noir, and now we have Cat Blanc. Look at him. Oh my goodness. He looks so cool. He is like the complete opposite here of Cat Noir. Let's take an up close look at him. So he has blue eyes. He has a white mask with black rims. And his hair and his ears are also white. His bell is white also. And here is the rest of his body. Oh my goodness, I really like this look. This is so cool. So this was actually a pretty easy project. If you have some spray paint, it really makes it super easy to spray paint Cat Noir here. And it's also best to spray paint the hair. So do cover up the face with some tape and then you can just spray paint the hair, which allows it to be a lot more even, and then paint the mask separately. And for these customs, I'm actually going to put them back into the box. I think this looks really cool. So today we have another Cat Noir doll, and we are going to be making Claw Noir. So Claw Noir is Cat Noir from an alternate universe. He looks quite different from the Cat Noir that we know and love. Let's go ahead and get started. You can get these dolls from Walmart for about $10. Okay, so here is Cat Noir. If you have not seen the review for him yet, make sure to check it out after this video. So the first thing we're going to do is add some hair. Cat Noir's hair goes downwards, it looks relatively neat, but Claw Noir's hair is a little bit messy. His hair is a lot more wild, so he has hair coming up the top here and also the back. And another thing that's different is that he is wearing a jacket that's not zipped, so he's actually open in the front. But let's go ahead and start with the hair first. So the product I'm going to be using to make the hair is this. This is like a moldable plastic. I got it from Daiso, so it's in Japanese. But it has 3 sticks of plastic, and what you do is you melt it in water, and then you can mold it right away. Afterwards, once it's cooled down, the shape will stay. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. So as you can see, you get 3 sticks here. I think we just need 1 stick. It's pretty soft. So once it hardens again, it's going to be like this, where it's still pliable, but solid. Okay, let's get some hot water. So I just boiled some water. Hopefully this is not too hot. And I also have a pair of disposable chopsticks, because I don't want to stick my fingers in there. Let's go ahead and cut this into a smaller piece. I've actually never used this one before, so I don't know what it's going to be like. I'm just going to put a small piece in here and see how it works. This water is pretty hot. It says here on the instructions to wait 3 minutes. Okay, let's feel it. Oh, it's much softer now. I think we can work with this. So I'm just gonna try it. And oh, it's nice and stretchy now. And I think the cool thing about this is that if it cools down before you're done, you can just put it back into the hot water and melt it again. So as you can see, it's already cooled down. Let's dip this back in the water. So what we're going to do is pull little pieces out, like strands of hair, and then we're going to glue it to the top of Cat Noir's head. So I've gone ahead and made a bunch of pieces. And I'm wearing gloves because we're going to be using some super glue. And I don't want my fingers to stick. So let's go ahead, just add the pieces one by one. Hopefully this doesn't look too strange. Alright guys, don't laugh, okay? But here he is. Look at this. I added so many pieces to his head. So we have these various pieces sticking out to the side and to the top. And I'm not sure if these strands are too skinny. Maybe I should have gone with larger pieces of hair, but I didn't want it to look too weird. But now he has a lot. So hopefully everything will look okay once we painted it. Trust in the process, right? So the next thing we're going to do is make the jacket. So he wears a cropped jacket and it is opened in front. Cat Noir's outfit is molded on, so we're not going to be able to change it very easily. But instead what we can do is add pieces to make it look like he's wearing a jacket and then paint it black. So I think that's the best we can do. We can't really take any of this armor off, but we can add a jacket. And to do that, I'm going to be using some Sugru. So Sugru is a moldable glue. It's different from this plastic that I just used. This one is actually not very easy to mold because it only works when it's really, really hot, but it cools down after a minute or two. Sugru, on the other hand, is more like clay. So this takes about 12 hours to cure, and that means you have a lot more time. However, you don't get a lot of pieces. This pack was about $10 and it only came with 3 pieces. And each piece is very small, about the size of a piece of gum. So I think we're going to need all the pieces. So here is our first piece. As you can see, it is quite small. If you roll it out, we might be able to make do with 3 pieces. So we're going to go ahead and start with 2 pieces. And take the jacket, and at first we're going to start by wrapping it around him, and we're going to trim around his arms. So here is the front of the jacket. I put the rest of the Sugru here on the back. So as you can see here, we are still missing one more piece. So let's get one more pack of Sugru. Turns out we're gonna need 3 packs to make his jacket. So we want it like this. And let's go ahead and blend the pieces together. The top of his jacket is quilted. So we're going to take my X-Acto knife here and we're going to cut lines across the Sugru and create a quilted look. So I'm going to do this to the right and also to the left. and also the back. So the back is done and it is looking really good. Okay, so I have one teeny tiny piece of sugar left and I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to create a little belt here. This is the double loop belt. Unfortunately, it doesn't extend all the way to the back, so we're just going to put it halfway. And I think that's okay because if we look at it from the front, it'll look like he has 2 loops around his belt. And add some studs. Okay, so I think this is looking really good. And Suguru does need a few hours to cure, so let's go ahead and set this aside and let it cure before we paint it. Alright everyone, so it's been a few hours and our Suguru is cured. And just look at this. I love that it is still flexible. So this is much better than clay because if this was clay, it would just crumble and break. But this is really cool. So here's the back of the jacket here. And here's our half belt. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and paint it. And to do that, I'm going to be using my paint marker in black that is oil-based. And I'm going to use the same trick that I showed you last time. I'm just going to press the pen tip down to create a puddle of paint. And I'm going to paint with a paintbrush. It's just a little bit faster doing that. Okay, we have a nice big puddle here. And let's just paint. Let's go ahead and paint his jacket. Let's go ahead and add the silver accents. I'm going to add some silver studs. I'm going to paint the front of the boots silver. Let's add some silver studs to the boots. With flesh tone, we're going to add some rips to his suit. So here above the knee. And here. Alright, it's now time to paint the hair. I'm going to use 2 shades of green. One's darker and one's more neon. I think this is gonna look so good. Alright, so the hair is done. Now we're ready for the eyes. The eyes are gonna be purple. It's gonna be 2 shades of purple. One's light purple and one's dark purple. And we're also going to paint his lips very dark. I'm going to be very careful here because black does not clean off very easily on the face. Alright everyone, so we are done with Claw Noir. And are you ready for the reveal? So over here on the right side, we have the original Cat Noir. Over here, we have Cat Blanc. This is our first custom using this doll. And now we have Claw Noir. Look at him. Oh my goodness. He turned out so good. So here is an up close look at his face. So I was really worried about the hair, but I think it turned out really good. So he no longer looks like he has a sea urchin on top of his head, but now he just has a big mop of hair that is bright green. I also love his purple eyes. And his jacket actually turned out pretty good. So we can still see the quilt pattern up here. We have those studs here. His zipper is silver and we have some silver accents. So here's a pocket, here's like a strap, and we have his silver bell. And the belt, as I mentioned before, I didn't have enough sugru to go all the way around, so you can only see it in the front, but you can see it has 2 layers here, which looks really good. And here is the back of the jacket. So I can see a little bit of that quilt pattern here. This cropped jacket is super cute. And what I love about Sugru is that, again, this is flexible. Down here we got some more accents on his legs and also a few tears on his suit. So I couldn't do anything about the boots. Claude Noir's boots are different, but I did add some studs. So I think Claude Noir has spikes on his boots, but we have silver studs instead. So it still looks very similar. And the front, of course, is painted silver. So let's stand him here with the other two. And what do you think? I think he looks so cool. I love this jacket. So one thing I'm not too sure about is whether or not he fits in the box. So I've been displaying these dolls inside the box. Okay, so let's put him in there. So I think we need to remove this piece of plastic back here. And there he is inside his box. Today I thought it would be a lot of fun to make Rabbit Noir, the unification of the Rabbit and Cat Miraculous. I believe he's called Rabbit Noir and not Bunny Noir because Bunny just sounds too cute. So are you ready? Let's go ahead and get started. Let's take our Cat Noir here. And I got this doll at Walmart. This is the budget version and they sell for about $10. Here is Cat Noir looking super handsome. So with these dolls, his outfit is molded on, so we can't really change much about the outfit. We can just color it, and also the same for his ears. These are all built in already, but I think for Rabbit Noir's ears, what we're going to do is maybe shave some of this down. It seems like it's made of pretty hard plastic, so I'm not sure. Okay, so it does seem that we can cut it down. So for the ears, we're going to be using some Sugru, the moldable glue. But before we do that, let's go ahead and paint the body. So here is a reference photo. Rabbit Noir's outfit is mostly black, but it has aqua blue highlights. So what I'm going to do is mix these 3 colors. I have Ocean Breeze for a little bit of green. We have, this one's called Desert Turquoise for the blue. And then I also have some metallics to make it a little bit shiny. Okay, so let's see how this turns out. Some Ocean Breeze and our metallic. What do you guys think? This is such a pretty color. Let's brighten it up with some pearly green. Right, let's paint. Let's start with his belt. I'm gonna put it on nice and thick. So here I'm just scraping off some of the excess paint. The nice thing about acrylic is that it does remove pretty easily. So you can remove large spots with water and small spots with just an X-Acto knife. And what I'm doing right here is just kind of scraping it away from the body. And of course, if I make a mistake, I can always repaint it. But that also means that this doll is a lot more fragile, so you don't want to handle it too much in the areas where you painted. Alright, so after painting, this is what our doll looks like so far. He's looking really, really good. I just love that color on him. The next thing we want to do is paint his bell white. We're going to do this with paint pens. Alright, and there's the white bell. Now we're ready for the ears. So Rabbit Noir has long bunny ears. However, Cat Noir here right now has his regular cat ears. And so what we're going to need to do is try to trim down the ears a little bit so it's a little bit more slim. Then we can attach the rabbit ears to it. So we're going to attempt to shave off part of his ears. Let's see how that goes. This is hard plastic, so be very careful when cutting it down, because you could easily slip and cut yourself. But we're just going to take off tiny little slivers. And what's nice is that underneath is actually yellow, so the same color as his hair. So as you can see, this process is going to take a while. Okay, that's one side. Let's do the same to this side. Okay, so here he is so far. So I really cut down the ears down to small little nubs, but I did keep these little nubs so that we can build the ears around it. And for this project, to make the ears, we will be using Sugru, which is a moldable glue. This is very much like clay, but after it's cured, it's still pretty flexible. So I really like using this. It's pretty expensive, but a little bit goes a long way. So we're going to start with one packet, and I'm going to make the ears and the little fluffy ball on the end of his tail. So you can see here, we actually don't get a lot, but once we flatten it out, I think we should be able to get 2 ears. And if you don't have any tools, you can always use whatever is handy to kind of roll it out and flatten it. Okay, so now we have 2 long pieces. Let's cut it in half and cut this into a rectangle. Here's the second ear. Okay, so here's the ears. I shaped it so that it's pointing downwards. That way you'll be able to fit into the box a little bit easier. So we're going to give this 24 hours to cure, and then we can paint it. With the leftover Sugru, I'm going to make the Bunny Miraculous, which is a stopwatch. And we're also going to let this cure. For the tail, I'm going to be using some oven baked clay. This one is an ultra light version, so as you can see, it's very soft and lightweight. So we're just going to take a small chunk here. I'm just going to round it out for the end of his tail. I'm going to take this and just stick it to the end of his tail, like this, and round it out some more. And then we're going to cure it with some heat. Alright everyone, so it's been a day and the ears have cured. So you can see here it is bent in position and it's still a little bit flexible, which is what I like for these customs. And so now we're going to go ahead and paint the ears. The inside is going to be the same teal color and the outside is going to be black. Let's start with the inside. So this is the same acrylic paint, and we might need to do a few coats just because it's not holding that well. And now with the paint pen, I'm going to paint his ears. And here is the Miraculous. It's a pocket watch. Let's go ahead and finish it. Let's put some tacky glue into the tail puff and stick it on his tail. And here is the Rabbit Miraculous. Alright everyone, are you ready to see Rabbit Noir? And here he is. Look at him. Oh my goodness, he turned out super cute. So here we have his ears on top of his head. They're bending downwards so that it will fit into the box. We have the line under his eyes on his mask. And we also have all these highlights throughout his outfit. Over here is his Rabbit Miraculous, and here on the end of his cat tail is a rabbit tail. I thought that was really cute. And the next thing we need to do is make sure that he can fit inside his box. He is looking really good. And he fits! You can still see his ears over here. Alright everyone, so now we have Cat Blanc, Rabbit Noir, and Claw Noir. Who should we make next? Let me know down below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye!